Nothing worse than a little bit technical difficulties. What's going on with the everything's goosed up? Not that. Subs, even the everything is goosed. It's weird. Computer had a bad breakdown, had a mental breakdown. The time isn't even shown. Nope, that's not right, and the subs isn't showing. I'll need to sort that later. Can't do it on live. Anyway, had to restart the laptop and lots of other technical difficulty things that's way above your pay grades. So let's get into. We're even live yet. Yeah, the breakdown. Had a mental breakdown. Hello. Oh, hello, Carly. Yes, Baz has been kidnapped for ripping the piss at the Sevco radio. No, I wasn't, but yeah, that was a bit strange. But a couple of technical difficulties with software. Good evening, everyone. Let's just get straight into it and listen to James Forrest.
No, obviously I signed a year extension. Delighted to be here, be a part of the club for another year. And no, I think my agent kind of started talking with the club like just after pre-season, and no, I think it's worked really well. Like me and the club over the years, and I'm just delighted to keep working hard here and hopefully keep playing a part in the success of the club.
The manager always talks about your professionalism year after year and continuing that relationship with yourself. That'll be the same for you in terms of working with Brendan.
Yeah, I think I've really enjoyed his first spell here, and then when he came back, I think there was maybe 3 or 4 players that I'd had him before, so I think me and Carl, we told a lot of the younger boys that they would enjoy working with him, and I think just throughout the time through last season, I think that became apparent, and as I said, I'm delighted to extend my deal, and hopefully he's here as well.
Forgive me, but I think I'll take you to 35. How do you feel about that? Would that be it for you, or do you still see beyond that?
Honestly, I think in football it's so hard to think about then, and just obviously like what's going to happen with myself in the last year. Like football can change so quick, so no, I'm delighted to extend my stay, and I'm just going to work as hard as I can to be here for as long as I can, and obviously it takes me till I'm 35, but I think it's a good boost that I've come back in the last season and helping the team out when I can. So no, I'm just going to keep enjoying it. I'm really enjoying like the kind of last 9 months. I've loved every minute of it, and I'm just going to keep enjoying every training session and every game I'm involved in.
I think you've won 24 major trophies in your time here, one behind Bobby Lennox. How does it feel being mentioned in the same sentence as him?
No, it's unbelievable. I think when you hear stats like that, it's amazing. Like all the kind of sacrifices you make to play here, and there's been so many highs and success I've had here, and as I said, I might only have a couple of years. I don't know how long I've got left, so I just need to make sure I really enjoy it, and then once I finish, I can really look back and like the stuff I've achieved with the club.
What would it mean to you if you were to overpass Bobby?
I think the most important thing, it means that the club is successful. I think I've been here for so long, so it's the only team I've been at, and I think because of the success of the team, then that's why I've maybe been here for so long. I think it goes without saying, if the club weren't winning cups and trophies and doing well, then I probably wouldn't have been here for as long as I have. So just playing that small part, it's made me manage to win the amount of trophies that I've had. But as I said, I've been involved in so many really good squads, and obviously managers and staff as well.
James, would you like to finish your career at Celtic? Is that something you think about?
I've never really thought about it, but I think when I get older, and I've realised, like especially the last couple of years, like when you're in the kind of Celtic bubble, it's when you're winning league titles, you're playing in the Champions League, and I don't think there's much better. And as I said, like my kind of role in the team's maybe changed the last couple of years, but I've enjoyed and loved every minute of it. And as I said, I'm going to just keep working hard and to be here as long as I can. And I've never thought about that, but especially as I'm getting older, then I think it will be.
Just in terms of the team at the moment, spoke to Brendan at the weekend. Obviously, he made 6 changes. The team were 5-0 up at half time. You've been here for such a long period of time, such a successful period of time. But how does this squad compare to other squads that you've been part of through the year? Because it seems that every single player in the squad seems to be playing so well at the moment.
Yeah, no, I think that's really good for the manager and the coaches that he's got that, and you see it every day in training. Like maybe the boys that start that like the next day, the boys that are training that have maybe not played, that the standards always really high. And I think when the manager has changed it at times this season, the players that have come in have done really well. And I think we've had a couple of international breaks, which has maybe gave us a wee kind of checkpoint. But I think December and January, I think you're going to really need the squad, and the amount of like international players and how strong the squad is. I think that's good for everyone.
No one's really speaking about it, but obviously the club haven't lost a game domestically this season. And when you compile that with how well they're doing in the Champions League, could this be one of the best seasons you've had at Celtic?
Yeah, I think the manager says like kind of last couple of months the season last year, and then we went into pre-season, we just kind of kicked on, and I think that the squad and a whole new signings have helped with that as well. But I think as I said, like I think everyone's been working hard. We did a really good pre-season. As I said, I think we've just kind of kicked on from there.
You mentioned make sure you enjoy every moment. Do you find it yourself? You enjoy your football as much as ever?
I think I definitely last 7, 8, 9 months. I'd say sometimes because like the pressure of playing for Celtic, like there's a game every couple of days, like important games, and I think it can maybe be sometimes hard to enjoy it. Like you maybe enjoy it once like the kind of season's finished, or if you've won a cup, like you can enjoy it there. But there's always a big game. But no, I think I personally I do feel as though it's probably one of the most I've ever enjoyed, like being a part of it and playing. And then I think obviously it helps like with how successful the team's been and how well the team's playing as well.
Because you've obviously lived through that for all your career, that pressure, the demands. You get to this stage, you can maybe handle it better than maybe some of the other guys who are just new to it. Do you feel like that kind of gives you the chance to maybe appreciate it more as well?
Aye, maybe when I was in my mid-20s and that, you kind of, it was kind of new when you're winning constantly, and the pressures of, as I said, like it doesn't matter what game you're playing, like the pressure's massive. Like the amount of fans that come to our home games, away games, it's mental throughout the full season. So I think maybe just when you kind of sit back a wee bit when you're older and realise like how big the club is, and you know that like you're not going to play forever, so you want to enjoy it as much as you can, and definitely it's been right up there for me.
It's been right up there for Jamesy Forrest, who is one fantastic little player, and it's good to see that he got that contract extension. Anyway, let's see what you lot are saying in the nonsense chat. I'm not expecting a lot of people on the night because we had a bit of technical issues beforehand, and you're just talking nonsense, aren't you? You're just talking nonsense. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put on Brendan Rodgers, because I've not actually listened to Brendan Rodgers. I've been out all day, and then I'm going to see what Brendan Rodgers says about the team and ultimately what he says about Louis Palmer and Luke McCowan.
Game everyone available for tomorrow?
Yeah, well, we've only Scott Bain, who a little bit of illness. Apart from that, all.
How the hell does Scott Bain get ill? I mean, and what did he catch, a flu? Because he's never caught a ball in a long time. He's getting money for old rope, isn't he? He does. Scott Bain's getting. It is what you call money for old rope.
All our other outfield players ready and available.
Made 6 changes at the weekend and didn't seem like it at all. The team were pretty seamless. Are we expecting to see many changes again now that we're coming into December and there's going to be so many games?
Yeah, I think over the course of the coming months, I said that before, that it's very, very important for us to have the energy in the game because of how we play, and that's what we think about every time we go into each game. So boys at the weekend were absolutely superb. You know, the attitude, the energy in the game right from the first whistle, how they pressed the game, how they attacked the game. So yeah, it was a very, very good performance. So yeah, we just recover and then look at the next team for the next game.
How much are you and the team looking forward to this top of the table clash at Pittodrie?
Yeah, it's always a challenge going to Pittodrie.
It's that time of
obviously
year.
they've done very well this season.
Midweek game.
Last probably week or so, maybe not results what they would have wanted, but still have made a very, very good start. And Jimmy's done a fantastic job there. You know, very structured in how they play, very clear in the process and how they want to work. So we expect a really tough game.
It's that tough game. It's that tough game at the tough time of the season where managers have done it, and managers before Brendan Rodgers under the name of Ronnie Dyler did it in a late night kick-off up in Aberdeen. He got a fantastic result there, which then was the push forward to him going on and winning the league. The same happened with Brendan Rodgers. The same happened with Ange Postecoglou. It's interesting how it's always Aberdeen away at this time of the season that ultimately has that little kick on for the team.
Sort of attitude and attacking attitude in the game. I think the first game at home when we drew 2 each, we went a bit slack, like I've said before, and we got punished for that. But we still, over the course of the 2 games, we created a lot of opportunities to score, and we're defensively strong apart from in those couple of moments. So, but it's away from home, and every game away from home, especially the top teams, it's always a challenge. So we'll expect that there. But I also expect us to, from the first whistle, really go to create the game and look to give Aberdeen problems.
Yep, we need to give them problems because let's face it, they have dropped a couple of points. Let me see if the league table is even still on. What was there? No, that's not even working, is it? We've had a serious bug on the. That's fucked as well, isn't it? Jesus, everything's kaput tonight. So I'm not going to show you the league table because that's one of the we've had massive technical difficulties.
And is it almost the best position a manager could want to be in? Teams winning, big games coming up, Champions League, League Cup final, players desperate to play.
Yeah, it's what you want. I think that, like we've seen from what was great about the weekend was it shows you that football really is a process of bringing players in. If you look at the likes of Luke Buchanan, who's only come in, he's adapted his style in order to play for us, has a winning mentality, has great technical quality. Tactically, he's learning all the time, and you see then now the clarity in his work and how good he was. You know, he was fantastic for Dundee, but was able to come into here and step by step throughout a process. He's now come in and absolutely been first class. So he and the other players that come in done very, very well, but they're not cover players. You know, I would have absolutely no hesitation in starting the same team at Aberdeen tomorrow night. So, however, we always have to plan for the games and the proximity of the games, and obviously over the course of the coming months.
With Luke, Brendan, I noticed after the game you were speaking to him. It looked as though he was asking you questions about specifics. Is that right? He looks like a kind of kid that's eager to learn. Was that the case? Was he asking?
It was. I was just on the pressing one towards the end of the game. We sort of shifted our pressing structure, and he was just getting clarity around that there. But no, he's a learner. There's absolutely no doubt about that. He's got a great career ahead of him here at Celtic. He has all the tools. I think coming in, like I said, it's not an easy adaptation to come into a big club with big expectation and pressure. But he settled in really, really well. And like I say, he's now one of us because I see this winning mentality. I see the hunger he has to learn. I see the humbleness every day and how hard he works. And he knows whether he comes off the bench or whether he starts a game, the opportunity is there for him to make an impact. But no, it's so important to have guys that are hungry and want to learn.
That says a lot for him, doesn't it? Because he was named man in the match. He could easily have run onto the pitch. I know he'd been substituted, but kind of taking the applause. But he was actually trying to find little things to make him better.
He's brilliant, Robert. He's, as I said, a real joy to work with. And but I think when you've got guys like Callum McGregor and that here, it's the beauty of having players like Callum McGregor because then you create more Callum McGregors. That's why you have top professionals, and the learning that he will get on a day-to-day basis from seeing the likes of Cal and working with the coaches and myself, then you have to be curious, you have to want to learn, and he's certainly one of those.
Scotland
Interesting.
most calm in the summer. But if it keeps this up, could he be aiming at that kind of thing, is that kind of level as well, and getting that national recognition too?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question of that. I think if you look at what the tools that he has, because I see it for many years. I see every good player can't play at international level. International level for me is about technique, tactical idea, and having a level of speed that allows you in mobility to get around the field. So you'll have some really good players, but just maybe aren't quite cut out for that mobility and fast pace at international level. Luke has that. Look, if I look at him technically, physically, that was the analysis that we did before bringing him in to see where he was at in terms of his running power, his physicality. So that's there at a really, really high level. So we know he can do that. Technically, he's finding the comfort now in the game. Tactically, like I said, he's shown that you see how quickly now he's adapted. Him and Paulo Bernardo were brilliant at the weekend in terms of how they link together, and so that tells you he's learning all the concepts and principles of how
He's
we
a
play.
future Celtic.
Like I said,
captain,
he has personality, and there's absolutely no doubt. You play for Celtic, he's going to be able to play for Scotland for sure.
Is the more that you listen to Brendan Rodgers, and the more when you listen to Brendan Rodgers speaking like that about Luke McCowan, he's definitely got an eye on him for being Celtic captain material. Definitely. I wondered if it could ultimately fit in as a Celtic captain, but having come into Celtic at a later age. But I think the manager's really got the way that he speaks about him, the enthusiasm, the way that he speaks about him. I just think that, yeah, definitely, he could be potential Celtic captain material in the future, which is that's not too a bad thing, especially when he's getting that a little bit education, as Brendan says, from Callum McGregor.
You've got 2 players for each position. It looks like, Brendan, a depth you've not had since you came back, but do you have to keep persevering and say, look, we can still get better?
Always, yeah, because you always have to, I think, at every moment you can. I never say complacency, but contentment is something that you don't want to have. You don't want to be content, you don't want to be happy. You always have to be improving and developing, and that's something that we as a club want to be able to do. I think we've been able to, in the last couple of windows, really energise the squad and bring it to a level that allows us to work at how we're working at the moment. But like I say, we always have to look beyond that and look to the future.
When you get a performance like Saturday after making 6 changes, does it give you kind of second thoughts, kind of questions about what team you'll pick for, the really big games as well? Are players making it really difficult for you to make these selections as well, the way they're coming in and playing?
Yeah, no, I had him.
Do you know what? When Brendan gets asked that question, when you see the level of performance, he must be sitting thinking himself. Well, maybe he isn't, because after the performance at the earlier on in the season against Falkirk in the Cup, when you think back to that, it was Falkirk, wasn't it? When you think back to the Cup game earlier on in the season, it's he's bound to have really got to work with the players. He's really got to work with the players. Dave, I'll get back to you in a minute or so. I've just been running late with everything that's went on, so I've not forgotten about you. I will get back to you in just a second or so.
To come in and perform, and every single one of them did that. But like I said, there's so many games, you guys know yourselves, in order to keep the energy in the team and how you want, someone can do absolutely brilliant in that game, but it might only be a couple of days later, and it's something that is so important, especially how we play.
Chad is here.
Interesting, and fuck you, YouTube. Just give me a second.
How big is this encounter in terms of what the ramifications could be in terms of league race, even this early?
It's still such a long way to go, Michael. I wouldn't at this moment in time, we win the game. It's okay. You get a bit of a gap against the team behind you, but there's still such a long way to go, and so many games. And but I think it's always nice, if you can go and go to one of your rivals and put in a good performance and get the points.
It's maybe sometimes more the psychological damage you can inflict on others rather than what you can get for yourself. Sometimes that.
So really, that's all we can think about. And but like I said, every game is an opportunity for us to impose our style in the game. I wouldn't say tricks. No, I just. Well, I think it's just more taking them on the journey and the story and what it is we want to achieve, and finding the various ways to stimulate and make sure they're ready. So the players work ever so hard on a daily basis. Coaches do a brilliant job and repeating our patterns of play and our work and our creativity and work rate. So that's all great. And of course, as I said, you have to provide the stimulus for players going into each game and providing the story that hopefully can allow them to push on. So
I wonder how much time Brendan Rodgers actually does spend on the training pitch, because he always talks about the coaches have done really well. I know that Ange Postecoglou, he never spent. I think he turned up on the Friday and had a look around the players and decided what players were going to play that weekend on the information that he got for the John Kennedy. But I wonder how much. I mean, I know that we do see Brendan Rodgers on the training pitch with him, but I wonder how much he's there on a day-to-day basis. I know that he'll be in the office and such, but it would be interesting I wonder if he would ever get asked that, and I wonder if he would divulge how much time he actually spends on the training pitch.
So, but yeah, so that's the constant for the manager. You could never lay off that. That is something that clearly a lot of thinking time goes into.
When you get to 3 games a week, Brendan, is it survival of the fittest, and you're maybe more accustomed to that than some other teams are? Is it just mental and physical endurance?
Yeah, I think it's consistency is always the challenge.
Yeah,
especially when you're playing so often. At clubs like ourselves, it always is the challenge because you have to perform. A draw is no good.
Yep.
The attitude here is always to win and win well, but and that there's clearly a big demand on the physical, side of that and mental. And but like you say, we've got players that are accustomed to it, players that will be new to it, and but that's our job, to help them and bring them through it and support them. And like I said, sometimes to come out of the team to recover mentally and physically, but to be ready to go again in the next game. So that's the careful management of it.
Just following on from what Robert was talking about, what keeping the squad motivated. Remember in 2016 you had I think 7 secret targets in that season. Do you get to the bottom draw at this stage, or is that different time, or is that something you do again?
I don't know. It just that was obviously a goal setting process that we'd had in place back then. I think now it's we're pretty clear on that. It's probably more individual work with players and individual targets for them. What's very important is improving the individual player. So
interesting.
But no specific tricks. No.
I think you were told what they were, mind you.
Hey.
I think you get them secret, didn't you? Didn't tell anyone what they were. I think that was still a mystery.
Right, well, one was a treble, and one was a treble, yeah, and there was a few of them. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we achieved them all.
I think you're tracking this season for 15 games ahead of where you were that season, which shows you the starting path.
Yeah, I think the consistency and the level of the team
is better.
Has been really high.
Yeah, it's really better.
And again, that's a great learn. That's it's a long time ago that sort of season. So and you learn even as a coach and manager from all them experiences. But this group of players will be writing their own history. That group then were absolutely brilliant for me. And now the challenge for this group is creating more historical moments as we go along. But what is always important, like I said, is how we play.
Yeah.
And that obviously took a bit of time to get going last year and get us working, but over the last numbers of months, really the consistency and the level has been has been a really high level. So.
Is this team there? How many people are on the live? Let's see. Let's just let me just. We're going to do a poll as always. There's one for you. Does this team play better football than the 2016-2017 team? This will be a good one to see how you answer with that. Yes, straight away, and it's something that I'm glad that when I called it out 7 games into the season, and I am going to keep reminding you that I did call it 7 games into the season, that I thought I knew you could see the stats then. Statistically, we were better than the 2016-2017 team. And does this team play better football? This is going to be an interesting one. 36% say yes already. 36 votes say yes. 38 say yes. I wonder if that'll level up a bit. Paul Baz, you've got makeup on. Why would I have makeup on? Why would I have makeup on? No, I don't. Jesus Christ. What's wrong with you? Ian, honestly, what is wrong with you? And no, I don't. And I was on another YouTube channel earlier on this afternoon, and that's why I'm running late. Anyway, let's jump back into Brendan Rodgers and a very interesting interview by the media today.
We just have to keep that going in terms of goals, great, but very importantly defensively as well. We're strong defensively, and that creates a great platform for all the attacking play.
In terms of improvement, do you expect to do much in January in terms of bringing in more, or are you quite satisfied with where you're at?
No, I think we're definitely looking. There's still areas that I would like to improve in the squad. Absolutely no question about that. We can't do everything in the summer one. We've done a lot of great work in there, but there's definitely areas that 1 or 2 areas just to again give that freshness to the squad as well, and give that quality. So it's important that we keep building.
Interesting.
Like I said, contentment. You cannot.
Interesting that he goes on about keeping on building, and I've just lost the place on that video. Jesus. What were we at?
Of the team has been really high.
Bringing in more, or are you quite satisfied with where you're at?
No, I think we're definitely looking. There's still areas that I would like to improve in the squad. Absolutely no question about that. We can't do everything in the summer one. We've done a lot of great work in there, but there's definitely areas that.
Got to say, I want that top that Brendan's wearing.
1 or 2 areas just to again give that freshness to the squad as well, and give that quality. So it's important that we keep building. Like I said, contentment. You cannot have, all the players will learn, develop, they'll get better, but you need to always provide competition, and that's something that I'll always look at.
You're just talking about to make the team writing their own history. People don't seem to be talking about it, Brendan. Obviously, the team are undefeated. You've got the cup final coming up, and given that you're going so well in Europe as well, do you feel that there is an opportunity here for you and your squad to have their best ever season under you, one of the best seasons that the club's seen recently?
It's still such a long way to go. Like, we've only got 13 games, and but what we've done is we made a brilliant start. But as I said before, that consistency, and it only takes something to go against you, or a sending off, or a bit of bad luck, whatever. So, but there's no doubt I think the first steps on the journey is always the most important. To get to the very top, you've got to make those initial first steps well, and the players have done that really, really well. And also what they've done, they haven't had everything their own way. I think the mark of this team was how we came back from the Dortmund game. The response to that, a huge setback. That's where you see your players, and that's where you see your captain, and that tells you everything about this team, about how they've been able to bounce back from that. And so that tells you that the spirit in the squad is very strong, and it's only going to grow and get better each week.
Brendan, you touched upon possibly doing stuff in January. There was a report this morning that Luis Palma's apparently attracting interest from America. How do you view his position within your squad?
Yeah, I haven't seen anything on that, but there's nothing really to comment on it. You know, Louis hasn't played a great deal of late, but as I said, he's still a part of the squad, and there's nothing else more. He's a good guy. It's been difficult for him. Players have come into his position where he's played and doing really well. If you look at the goal return of Daisa Maeda this year, the pressing, all this side of it, and then when he was out for a few weeks injured, then Yang comes in and does really, really well. So, but he's working hard every day. He's a good guy. He's well liked within the squad. But of course, I can only pick a certain amount of players. But he will continue to work and may get the opportunity as we go along.
Yeah, he's away, isn't he? Going by what Brendan Rodgers is saying there. Brendan Rodgers has been very, very diplomatic. Brendan has been very, very diplomatic about that one. About Louis Palma, wasn't he? He was definitely being diplomatic. Anyway, I'm just looking to see what you are saying in the chat. I'm going to jump back into the. Let me see what we're sitting at with the Just Given page. It is sitting at £428, which is a fantastic amount. An absolutely fantastic amount. It will grow, I'm sure of it. Having been only just 2 days in, to get to 428 is a fantastic amount. This will be running all the way. Remember, we are doing the Boxing Day live, and hopefully that image is still there. Yep. We are doing the Boxing Day live for the Celtic Foundation, raising money for the Celtic Foundation. For every hour that we are on, that will equal £1,000 donated by the Celtic fans. So the Celtic fans will ultimately, on the day even, because I do expect that to rise dramatically on Boxing Day. I hope everyone's going to be sitting at home and tuning into the channel and just getting it a little bit further, just to make sure that the punishment is stay on YouTube just a little bit longer, just a little bit longer. Anyway, it is one of those days. Brendan Rodgers talking about the game tomorrow night. Aberdeen, they are sitting obviously second in the league, and they've drawn their last two games. They lost the game, and then they drew a couple of games. You were expecting them to keep pushing us, but ultimately they don't have the squad to push us at this level. Over the entirety of the season, Brendan Rodgers, I think, knows the fact that this squad is good enough to push on in the league, and it is ultimately about creating a little bit of a gap. Speaking about the fact that can a win tomorrow night kind of make us win the league, he says no, it can't. He says what it does is it gives us a little bit of a gap, and it gives us an excellent opportunity to further our points tally. But when it comes to winning the league, there's a lot of football still to play, so he did downplay that, and it was respectfully downplayed by Brendan Rodgers. I thought he didn't want to. I mean, he knows he's far too old. He's far too old as a manager now, and he's far too intelligent to go out and slate. Anyway, I can't see the beginning of the comments. I'm trying to see back to the beginning of the comments. And it's not going to let me go back to the beginning of the comments. That's a bit of a bummer. Anyway, I'm going to close down the poll because we've had 83 votes. 83. Let's see if we can get it to around. I'm just going to end it. It's at 84. Asked the question: does this team play better football than the team in 2016, 2017? 25% have said no, they don't. They don't think that this current team plays better football, even though the 2016-2017 team did play more that side-to-side passing stuff that a lot of you didn't like at the time. It did play that, and but this team seems to just play Brendan ball, don't they? Don't call it Brendan ball. Never call it Brendan ball. I'm glad that terminology has disappeared from the Celtic fans. Anyway, let's end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Going to end that poll, and we'll see what the final effect was on the poll. Does this team play better football than the 2016-2017 team? 74% say yes. 25% said no, 7 votes. Anyway, and you can see the team that I think will play tomorrow going along the ticker tape, but hopefully I'm wrong and Taylor does get dropped. I'm going to go for Aberdeen, Nipwa, Celtic, 3. There we go. I'm going to go for Aberdeen now, Celtic 3. Carly's going for Aberdeen now, Celtic 3. Dave Hislop's going for Celtic. He's going 4-1. But the way he's wrote it, it means Celtic are going to get beat 4-1 because it's away to Aberdeen. Get your scores in the doors. Get your scores. It's much better squad now than it was in 2016-2017. Yep, I'd love Jota back, says Chalpel. He's kind of fallen out in favour with the Rennes manager, I see. And it's interesting. It's one player that ultimately will regret leaving Celtic. I wonder what kind of wage he's on back there. Would Jota fit into this Celtic team? Of course he would. Yeah, Chalpel, I know the subs aren't displaying. We had a bit of a meltdown with the laptop before I came on. The subs are sitting at, though, if I go onto this other screen, they're still sitting on 20,087. 20,087. We've went up 3 subscribers since we've been on. I will get that sorted so that it shows tomorrow. There was a little bit of technical difficulties. That's the subs as it sits just now. David Beattie is going for 2-0 Celtic. 5-2, said Richard. Do you really think that we're going to... We've only let in 4 goals, Richard, all season. We've only let in 4 goals all season, but you think that we're going to add another 2 into that tomorrow night? I can't see it. Aberdeen aren't big scoring. They're not having big scoring games. Martin's going for 2-0. Stephen Johnson's going for 4-2. Where do you think the Aberdeen are not scoring goals? Danny Cassie's going for 2-0 or 1-0. Brown Warriors going for 4-1. Dave Beat's going for 2-0. Richard is going for a crazy scoreline of 5-2. I can't see that happening at all. Sheep 2, Celtic 3. There's another one. JT Boys says, how are Aberdeen going to score 2 goals? They've not been scoring a vast amount of goals recently. 3-1 Celtic, says Andy Mack. William says Aberdeen 0, Celtic 3. Jed Johnson says Aberdeen 1, Celtic 4. Jamie Brown's going for 3-0 the Hoops. The Sheep are getting sheared tomorrow. To pie to I pie the floor. We say, Jesus. 5-0 Celtic, says Gary. Glasgow Boy TV says 2-1 Celtic. Jim McClat is going for Aberdeen 1, Celtic 2. Chalpel says he's going for 3-0 tomorrow. I'm going for 3-0. Aberdeen, Dave Morton's going for 3-0 also. Paul Bear's going for 3-0. Norman McDonald says 2-0 Celtic, 1 each half. I don't think there's going to be a lot of goals first half. I think we might sneak it with 1 in the first half. And it might even go in at half time at 0-0. Don't be surprised if we're going at 0-0 at half time, but I've got a funny feeling we'll sneak 1 the first half and then we'll score 2 late on, as we always do. We always score later goals at Aberdeen. They always come out the second half with a bit of fight in them at their home ground. 2-0 Celtic, Norman says, 1 in each half. Jerry Cassidy would love Jota back. Chalpel's going for 2-1 tomorrow. Celtic Man's going for 3-0, and there's a 3-1. Craig McLean's going for 5-0. Jamesy Boy's going for 4-0. Lorna Gallagher's going for 4-0. And then subscriber only more. What? Let me just check this. I'm going to reset everything on this laptop. Pain. Anyway, that's me done and dusted for tomorrow. I might do a live first thing in the morning. And then ultimately we'll have the live an hour and a half before kickoff, and then a quick live after the game tomorrow evening. So yeah, I think we might go for a half-hour live tomorrow morning. We'll wait and see. No, because I need to get the laptop and everything all loaded up. Brown Warrior says French Eddie would be better playing support striker role. French Eddie's never coming back to Celtic. Lorna Gallagher is absolutely fantastic. She's put up the Just Given page once again. The Just Given page is sitting at 41% of our target of £1,000. That's the initial target. We've had 18 supporters. Mark said, Merry Christmas, hail, hail. The Celtic Foundation is what it is all about. You'll never walk alone. He was the last one to put in a gift of £10 a couple of hours ago. Ross, John Gilmore, Paul Meehan, Gavin. No, don't press that. Oh my God, we're going to... Anyway, I'm away. I'm done and dusted for the night because this laptop is just driving me absolute nuts. Cheers again, Baz. And Troop says, Big Des. Have a good night, everyone. It says, Ian. Jamie Brown says, see my... What? What? I know because he won't play the striking pair under Brendan Knapp. 2-0 the Hoops says Margaret Bingham. Welcome to the channel, Margaret. Anyway, on that note, have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans all over the world. I'll make sure that everything is back to normal tomorrow. But the laptop did have a bit of a meltdown before we started tonight. And on that note, have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans.